Good morning, everyone. Hello, welcome back. We are here once again on the channel with more chess content. The plan for today, very similar with what we've done on other days here. So I'm going to start off by going through just a couple of chess puzzles, right? We'll talk through them, we'll get my mindset, we'll get where my head's at. We're going to hop in after that and play through a 15-minute with a 10-second increment game on chess.com. Once that's done, the last thing that we're going to do here today is hop on and do some analysis, right? We'll talk through the game, we'll talk through my moves, we'll see where I went right, where I went wrong, etc, etc, right? So nothing out of the ordinary here on the channel today. It is actually beautiful out there today. It's a nice sunny day here. A little bit out of the ordinary. We don't get too many of those, but I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. Might get out for a walk in a little bit. I've just woke up like half an hour ago or something. Started the day off with a little coffee. Right, my brain's primed. It's ready to go. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop on and let's get started. Right, we can start by talking through some puzzles. Let's do it. Puzzle cam engaged. Puzzle cam activated. We're here. This is our first puzzle of the day. I'm being told that there is a way in this position that we can end the game nicely with checkmate. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. Let's start by going through my kind of initial candidate moves, just based on what I'm seeing off the bat here on the board, right? So I'm seeing a move like Bishop b5 to put the king in check. The king, I don't actually believe has anywhere to go at that point, right? The king can't go anywhere. Probably the only thing that can be done is blocking that check with the queen, right? The queen comes there to block the check. Some people might be inclined to take that because that is a queen for a bishop, right? But you need to keep in mind that we actually don't have our queen on the board, right? We don't have our queen. So a sequence of moves like this would leave us with a knight, a bishop, and two rooks. And that would be against black, who has a knight, a bishop, and two rooks, right? So it just makes the game completely equal, not a productive thing to do. So after bishop here, queen blocks. What we can do is play knight to c7 check, right? Because at that point, the king is back under threat. The king can't move forward because of this bishop, right? The king can't step forward this way because of the queen being in the way. And the king can't come this way because of the bishop again. So at that point, the king's actually checkmated. So I believe that's what we have to do here. Here check, and here. Yeah, so a little checkmate in two moves there. Compared to what we were dealing with yesterday, actually a pretty straightforward puzzle, right? Nothing too crazy there. Able to get that one pretty quickly. So off the bat here, nice quick puzzle to get started. Nothing crazy. Let's hop into the next one. Okay, this is our position here. Being told to have a careful look at the board. Is there a way to win black's bishop? Okay, that's where our minds should be at. There's a way to win a bishop here. So again, let's talk through candidate moves, right? What is on the agenda? I mean, obviously the first thing that I'm thinking in my head is some sort of like sack play, right? To get in at black's king. Here, here, here. And black is just about able to escape after all that kind of business, right? Maybe here, here. Yeah, it looks like, well, not there, but here. Hold on, let's go back to this. Takes here, pawn takes, queen takes. Imagine the line where the king runs away this way. We can check here with the queen. The king can come along one. But after we play a move like here, they can bring the rook down to block that, right? So I don't think that is working. It is my only check in the position, so we need to keep that in mind. I don't have any other checks. Okay, and it doesn't look like it's working because after here, here, white can escape this way. I could play here, which would send white back there, right? I can take a bishop with check down here or over here. Okay, maybe there's more to calculate here, right? So rook takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, king comes down here. We play queen up here, which forces the king back maybe here. Queen takes with check. Comes over. It's a very strange one, this. I mean, I do get the feeling it's somewhat related to this sequence of moves, but there's just so much that can happen after this. Imagine the king goes here, right? Imagine the king goes here. Well, then you could play here. As a check with the queen. King would come back to this square, right? I could play at that point, like here's a check maybe. King comes across, rook comes across, king goes down. I guess we're gonna have to start working through lines here, right? Because there is a number of them. So rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes. This is my first line that I'm thinking about, right? What happens here after this move? Well, there's a couple of moves that we can make. Best one, I think, probably is queen here. King steps back a number of ways, right? I mean, if the king goes back this way, that's not good because I can bring my rook here and the king is forced like down here, 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 and checkmate. So I guess I can discount that line. Here, 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 and king here. What do we have to do at that point? I mean, we can take a bishop with check, right? Send the king across once again. We can play here, forcing the king to come back this way because he can't go that way, otherwise I get a rook. Back. This is a very tough puzzle, right? That is assuming that the move is rook takes pawn, which I don't know that it is, and I haven't considered many other moves. So let me look at potential alternative moves, right? And we can talk through those. Important to keep in mind right now that I have two rooks, a queen and a bishop, against black, who has a queen, knight, bishop, two rooks. So black is up a piece, right? So we need to consider that when we're talking about trades. Right. So takes, takes, takes. Here. I mean, there's also the idea of takes, 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 and the king going up this way. And then queen comes here, back, here, down, here, up, There's so much going on in this position. I know I said I consider alternative moves, but I don't see any other moves, right, that really do anything. So I'm gonna say this is the first move. Yep, it is, right? So at least we know that is the first move that we have to make, right? And I'm gonna say that this is the follow-up. Yep. So that gets rid of a lot of the kind of heavy lifting for us, right? We've discovered what the first move is, and what the second move is, which really narrows it down, which is good. So from this point, we have a couple of ideas. We have queen here as a check, saying the king has to come here. That would force that move. We have queen here, which would send the king, unless he wants to get checkmated this way, right? I can then follow that up with taking the bishop, sending the king kind of sprawling this way. At that point, he doesn't have any good checks on my king, does he? Especially if he's on this square. So what I can do probably is take here with the bishop, saying I have a threat of checkmate on this square. Forcing rook takes bishop, rook takes. That still leaves me down a piece though, right? So here, 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 here. So there's only really, I think, two candidate moves on the table at this board, right? We have this one as a check, or we have this one as a check, right? And of those, which looks more promising? Probably, well, let's go through this, right? Here, here, and what comes next? Here. Saying the king can't do anything but step back here. That doesn't look quite so promising, right? I don't really see that as much. So I guess I'll have to take another educated guess and say it's like queen here, because I don't see any other move that could be it. Yep. Okay. We're still in. My brain's struggling, but we're still in this one. Here is what I'm thinking for a next move. Just forcing the king along, right? Could be a good idea. Here. King steps away. That's the only move for that king. Can't go anywhere else. So here, here. And then something like queen checking here. Forcing the king to go back. Problem is at that point there's then threats with the rook coming here, right? Pinning my bishop. Or pinning my queen. So imagine some line like this, this, here, and what? Here, 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 here. Is that not mate? So like here, here, and then after here, if he wants to come back this way, I can play here. He can come back this way at that point, right, to this square. I could then go here, saying I'm threatening mate on this square. The rook might come down to defend that, or the other rook might come down to defend that. Okay, I'm going to say it's this move. Okay, and that's just it. I'm not quite sure on the the follow-up moves beyond this point. So I'm actually kind of curious to have a look at that and see what's next. Quickly into our analysis window here, right? So this is our position. This is the move on the board. Forces the king this way. The recommendation was queen d6 check. The king at that point is between two moves, between two ideas. Pretty similar in evaluation, but apparently queen e8 is a little bit better here. The recommendation at that point is to play queen c6 check. No? Either that or rook g2. Rook g2 is recommended as best. Not exactly sure why this is so bad for black. They have an extra piece. They do have a very unsafe king though. So at that point, the recommendation from black is rook a7. Just to try and cover that file, right? Rook a7, rook g6. Oh yeah, to come in for the checkmate, right, is the idea. Rook g6. And you have to play rook d7. But then rook e6 check is being recommended. King d8. And queen takes f8. And the king comes down. And the recommendation is rook d6 at that point. Queen takes e5. Rook takes d7 check. King takes d7. Bishop takes here check. Wait, why is that so much lower? Hold on. Oh, it takes b5, sorry. Yep. King to c7. And then bishop takes a6. I mean, if I was going to calculate all of that, right? If I was going to calculate all of that to know that this leaves me with an extra piece, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. But at least we can take some solace in the fact that we got the puzzle right. Yeah. Cool, we're back with our next puzzle here. Apparently checkmate is waiting if I play carefully. Good to know. So with that in mind, the first move on my mind is queen takes pawn, right? But that might allow some idea of this king escaping out this way. So better maybe is rook here check, saying if you come down with the king, I can take this pawn with checkmate, right? That would be checkmate. Yep, king wouldn't have anywhere to go. So the only other variation really I think that's possible is rook here, knight comes back, but again at that point, queen takes pawn. White can step over one with their king at that point. And so we need to know how we convert this into checkmate. Ah, wait, no, I'm being stupid, sorry, because here, knight comes back, we can start by taking here, which forces the king down again, right? And then at that point we can play here, and it's checkmate. So I believe rook e1 is the move, saying that if the king comes down straight away, we can take a pawn, and it's checkmate. And if we play this move, and white blocks with the knight, we can take with the rook, force the king down anyway, and then checkmate with our queen. Cool. Hopefully that's it. Yep. There we go. I'm on a roll, apparently. There we go. Nice little fun one there. Oh, shit. Got a reward for being a daily solver. Hell yeah. Leveling up to Wood 7. Yes, sir. Certified Wood 7 puzzler over here. Have you seen anything like it? I don't think so. Cool. those were our puzzles for the day. Got all of them. Got a little bit lucky on one of them, but I did get all of them. Ranked up to Wood 7 in puzzles. Good fun puzzles in there. One of them was way too dank, right? Knowing that this whole line would eventually lead to you winning a piece, like which 1500 players calculating that? Not me, right? But good fun puzzles. We can now hop into our game, right? And we'll see how that goes. Let's do it. Cool, we are hopping into our game here against Manza, Italian, 1471 rating, starting with the King's Pawn opening. Here we go. We're back in. Okay. Bring a knight out. And we'll see what kind of game we get on the board. Looking like it's going to be another Italian on the board, but this time we get to play it from black side, right? There we go. I'll bring a bishop out, take us into the normal piano game, and we have what is an Italian Gambit on the board with an early d4 move. Okay. Little Gambit to get us started here. First thing I'm considering is just taking that pawn, right? What can happen at that point? So maybe some crazy idea of bishop takes f7, king takes, knight comes here, and I have to drop the king back, right? Try and swing his queen into the game at that point, push a pawn, queen takes bishop, might be the thought process. So here, I get a pawn, he gets a pawn, I get a bishop, he plays check, I drop my king back, he brings his queen in, threatening checkmate and threatening the bishop at that point, right? On this square. So is there any way around this? Let me take this pawn, bishop takes here, so I get a pawn, he gets a pawn. I could take a bishop, checks with the knight. What squares do I have with the king? I mean, I could step up, but that looks kind of crazy, doesn't it? To bring your king that far up that early on. We could also go to some line of here to get a pawn, bishop takes, and I just move the king. But then he could take this knight. I could take back with the king. Bit of a weird position here, right? Bit of a strange position. I can also consider taking with other pieces, right? So I can take with the bishop and say, if you want to play this way, I can now safely drop back here and there's no attack on my bishop after that line. So let's do that. Let's say that's a safer way to play this, right? So some line like here, knight takes, no. Some line like here, bishop takes, I get a bishop, he plays check with the knight, I drop my king back here, he plays queen here check, I play here, and it's still a little scary. It's still a little scary to be sure, but slightly less scary than the other line. I'm not really a huge fan of playing against gambits in general, mostly because I don't know theory, right? I'm not very good at theory. I haven't studied the Italian gambit before. Okay, and he takes with the knight, and I guess I can take back with the knight, right? But that might still allow this whole combination. So I should probably take back with the pawn, right? You might go for some idea like this at that point, but then I can do like an old school setup or put the queen here. So let me, I guess, take back with the pawn. That looks a little better than taking with the knight, I think. Here, here, here to defend both. It's definitely a move. I think I like that actually, rather than just pushing my pawn too far up the board. So let me do this instead and see if bishop takes. I get a bishop. That still looks kind of scary, right? Hold on, I might need to calculate this a little bit more. It's probably simpler to take with the pawn, but it does leave my pawn a little bit weaker, and it might need some defending. So I'm calculating taking with the knight instead. So I get a knight. I'd be up a pawn at that point. He would get a pawn by taking here. I would get a bishop. Just calculating this line. Here, I get a bishop. He checks here. I go here. He gets a pawn back. I bring my queen out. It's just unnecessary though, right? I think. So let me take with a pawn. I think it's unnecessary to try and play that complicated. He might bring queen out multiple different ways. I think if he does it either way, I'm going to play queen e6 to defend it. Maybe missing something here. It's very, very possible that in an opening setup like this, you just miss something, right? And these gambits are very dangerous. When you don't know what to do in chess, when you're not a great player, gambits can be very dangerous, right? But I should be, if I can get out of this opening and I can take us to like a nice little middle game or end game, I should be comfortable here with the extra pawn. One thing that I've learned, and watch me say this and then it just not be true in this game, one thing that I've learned about people who like to play gambits in the opening, usually their rating is a little bit inflated relative to their kind of, I guess, level of skill in middle games and end games, right? Okay, so he's going to try and take a big center. That's his point, is he can take a big center. I can take, let the knight come into the game. Is that too dangerous to play? Maybe. I could also play here, saying if you take that, I can take here. Don't know how I feel about that. Maybe that's okay. Here, defending against these ideas as well. Here, castles. So here, castles, pawn takes, knight takes, knight comes here, pushes pawn. Yeah, it's all a bit hairy scary, isn't it? So I can go here, saying takes. Could also play like a move like knight here, just to attack that bishop straight away, and ask what the bishop is doing. Yeah, there's a lot of moves that are possible here, right? I could also try pushing this pawn and saying that you don't get a big center, and if you want your pawn back, you have to take it with like the queen. Allow me this fork. Or you have to take back with the bishop and put your bishop in a weirder spot. A worse spot. I could always give the pawn back. I can always give the pawn back, but it doesn't seem very productive. I'm going to try... it's a little risky to do something like this. I could also try taking it and just letting him have his way of getting the knight into the game. Could definitely do that. Could also play a move like queen here. Just saying I defend against this. There's a lot of the same benefits. Maybe some early idea of like queen here as well to attack this pawn. I don't hate that idea. Let me try that. So my alarm's going off there. Yeah, I guess I'll try a move like this. Sure. Let's see what happens there. See what happens in this kind of spot. I don't know if it's the best move. I noticed that obviously he's got rid of the knight on this side of the board, which can normally be a problem for bringing the queen out this way. So that knight's not there. This is a good place for the queen to be, eyeing down the king. Yep, goes for castles here. I can play here. That would allow a big center though. I can also take here now, right? And say that after knight takes here, I don't have any issues, and I'm up a pawn. He can maybe try pushing this, but then I can just take with a knight. I think this might be the way to play. I've already wasted enough time, so let me just take this pawn, right? Take this pawn and bring a knight out. But he might try and get aggressive and push this pawn in that case. But then I can just dip my queen to the side here, right? He might swing his thing back. Let me take this pawn. Let me take it. Let me get greedy. I want a pawn, and I want to win the game. He takes with a knight. I'll play here. Just to prevent knight getting into d5. And we'll see what he does next from here. I'm ready to castle. He has slightly more of a claim on the center, but I have an extra pawn. I have a king that's ready to castle. Might be missing something big here, we'll see. We will see. But I should be relatively happy here if we can get out of this opening. Having an extra pawn in the endgame is good, right? In general. I just get the feeling that he's got some weird kind of tricks up his sleeve, right? He could play a move like knight into here, coming after this pawn. That is definitely possible. If he goes knight here, I could play castles and say that if he wants to take this pawn back, I can swing a rook over, bring a knight back. I mean, it's possible for him to play this. Okay, but he does go for this idea of pushing the pawn and saying if I take it, he might have some idea of like rook here. Is it okay for me to grab this pawn, grab another pawn, and get greedy? Why is this not okay? I can grab it two ways. I can grab with the queen. But here has to move a bishop, no? Or is he going to play like queen here at that point? Or then I can take, and queen takes and castle. Is there anything wrong with this? Saying that if he goes here at that point, I also have ideas of swinging my queen over. I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to grab more pawns. I might as well. This is the way that I have chosen to play, right, is grabbing pawns in this game. So I might as well continue grabbing them. right? Let's just grab more pawns. Let's do it. This might be the wrong way to play, but I'm just telling him that I'm not afraid of any of his shenanigans. So here I can castle now, right? And get my king to relative safety. Is there anything wrong with doing that? If there is, I can't see it. Spots like this, king should be out of the center. He can maybe go knight here at that point. But then I can play a move like queen here, getting my own ideas going, attacking a knight. He comes there at that point. I can play here. Yeah, let's castle. Let's castle and get safe. Get my king to safety. Let's do that. He's got so much more time than me. I have a two, as per usual, I've got a 2-pawn edge, but he has way more time than me. And so he plays here with his rook. I can play here to guard the knight, right? Guard the knight, start to set up some ideas. Could also play rook over here to guard the knight that sits behind. But I think this is nice just to guard my knight. Or I could play here to guard it, right? Get my knight to a slightly better position, guard his friend. He might have some idea of like here. So that knight might need this square. Maybe I go this way. I'm gonna try this. I'll play this. I'm running a little low on time, so I need to start making moves, right? Okay, and does go for this idea. I can play here now. That knight's not actually under attack, but he's also not the most comfortable knight that I've ever seen, right? So here, 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 here. Let me give this a try. Queen should be situated quite nicely on this square. So let me put my queen here. Maybe he'll bring his bishop back like that. Maybe. It's a weird position. He brings his bishop back like that. I could entertain the idea of a move like this. Just to say that I put a pawn in front of my queen. Or if he plays his bishop back here, I could play bishop out like this, right? To attack the knight. Again, some ideas of pushing the pawn and trying to win a bishop behind. Turn a weakness into a strength, right? I just feel like there's something going on here that I'm not 100% aware of. He might know something that I don't. Just keep my eye out for dangerous looking moves. Let's see what he's got next. Despite being down 2 pawns, he's still very much in the game. Just because it's an open game, he has 2 bishops on the board. He has pieces that look like they could start attacking if he moves them correctly, right? So I'm thinking this could be probably his next move. I want to follow up with this. Put some pressure back on him. He might play like here or something. But then I can take the bishop, right? So imagine here, here, here. Guard his knight. Play my knight out here. What about a move like here as well with his bishop? And then he stops himself from ever attacking this knight with the pawn. So if he does this, I could get comfy with a move like this. Queen coming in here is something to be aware of. Okay, so he plays this way. Attacking the knight here. Can swing this rook over to defend that, right? I'm just saying after here, go here with my other knight. Should be okay. Is there anything more productive I can do? I can move this knight here, but that opens me up to this. And my knight doesn't have anywhere good to go, so I guess here. Let's try that. You might try bishop takes here, here. Not sure about that one. His knight is now tied to defending this bishop, is something to keep in mind. So if I bring my bishop out here, there's a threat that we can take, and take. So just keep that one in mind. These two defend each other. Well, this one defends this one. I'm going to have to keep playing moves relatively quickly here. I've only got 3 minutes left on the clock, so just keep that in mind as we go here. 3 minutes left on the clock. My opponent has about 10 now. Played through most of their opening pretty quickly. So like here maybe. Trying to say that bishop is a strength. Do I hate this as a response to that? Well, I do, because that, and that. So if here comes, I should probably play here with my knight to get away. Okay, puts his rook here. Here, here. That's probably what he's trying to do. If he moves the rook over, I can take. I can push here now and say bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. Not yet. Here, here, saying he can't come over. Here. Can also play here. It doesn't work so well. So this move is the thing. So there's many moves here. I don't have a whole lot of time. Let me just really keep that in mind. Try here. Move the bishop out the way. I don't hate it. Maybe he'll just take and then play rook here to attack my queen. But if he does that, I can take the knight, right? Just to keep all that in mind. 1 minute on the clock. This is getting to territory where I could just blunder something, right? I've only got a minute, so I need to keep all sort of candidate moves and ideas in mind. What do I have in my head? What do I want to achieve here? Okay, so he puts his bishop back. I could go here with the queen, saying trade queens, or I take a bishop. Maybe I don't mind that so much. Does that give him a tactic of like here? saying if takes, you can swing the rook over. It does, so let's not do that. We play here, maybe? No. Here? 59 seconds on the clock. Here now. We try this. We give this a try, right? Let me give it a go. See if it works. Maybe bishop takes is his idea. I can take with the knight. See if this works. I'm not sure if it works. 58 seconds on the clock. You gotta try something like this, right? Maybe he brings his rook over, but then I can take here. Maybe he ignores it and does something else. I really should be more careful with my time. This has been a plague for me in my time playing chess, is just not knowing how to use my time correctly. Let's see, if that works, that'd be good for me. I could try and win like a piece or an exchange. I'm trying to call his bluff here and say that this whole attack is not very scary and you've opened yourself up to a fork. And I can win pieces or exchanges. However, taking this rook does open this file up and allows more things to come and get involved. So if he just shifts his bishop back, I will take the rook, but then be very aware of other stuff coming. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, right, it doesn't allow this move as a tactic, because I can take that, and if he brings the rook here, I can take it, right? So my queen's not pinned to my king at that point. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does about this. Here, I'll just take it. Queen takes, okay, he plays over here. So I can take this, but then he takes back with the rook. I can take, rook takes. Let me just get stuff off the board and try and simplify. Let's say that's the way that I want to go about this, is just simplifying. He might say no to that. He does, yeah. Try and turn weakness into strength here with a move like this. Let's say that works quite nicely for me. Not sure about that one, but we'll see. Only got 27 seconds, so I've really not done myself any favors there. So here, here. Very tactical game here. So here, this, right? What's wrong with that move? Just to take a rook. Here, sure. Back here. Yep, let's go for that. And just say I now have an extra rook. And you have a knight that is quite weak. Yep, let me swing a rook over here. Happy to trade pieces, very happy to trade pieces. In general. Oh shit. No, it's okay. It's okay. Whew. I thought you had the idea of takes, and bishop here, but I can push the pawn. That's fine. Keep that in mind. And so he plays bishop here. I'll play my pawn up to block that, I think. Yep, let's do that. That actually fortifies against this whole concept as well, because then I can just push with the pawn. Might have some tactic left. He's got this. Okay. What's he going for? Not entirely sure. Let me let me play back here. Right, like this. Oh, okay, he had a pawn there. This. No, it's a bit too aggressive. You drop back here. I'm running very low on time now, I know. I am aware. Oh, Jesus, I hate these games. I hate these kind of games. Down to a proper time scramble. So bad with my time. Let's go here. Try and trade queens off. Ah, okay, here. My brain's moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour right now. So much going on in the position still. With queens on the board, right? There's always something happening. Panic. I've still got time. I mean, not panic, sorry. We still got time here. 28 seconds on the clock, 10-second increment. So try and make moves in and around 10 seconds at a time. Right, what's he doing next? He is probably trying to escape with his queen. Something like here. I can play a move like this to attack that queen. Get that queen off the file, maybe. If he comes down here, my thought process is I can play here with the bishop. Okay, that's fine. King goes here. We bring my knight up here. Right? Let me try that. To try and get rid of some more scary ideas. Okay, he plays rook there, got you. I can play... what am I doing here? Try and double up maybe? No. Try and kick this queen out, I guess. Like this. There might be tactics here, I'm not sure. I really am not sure at this point. No idea what's going on here. I'm thinking about queen here. Okay, puts the queen back there. I now have discovery ideas on this queen. Play here. Oh wait, no, I might have just given him this. Take. Go here. I have no idea what's going on here. I'm very, very lost. No clue. This is very much roll of a dice. I could be getting checkmated here. I could be losing pieces. I could be winning pieces. Ah, what's happening here? I have no idea. He takes here. I can take a rook. I can take a rook and then play for some move like here. But then he can always come back with check, right? Okay. I'm having no fun right now. This is just a pure stress moment. I also have this as an idea. I don't know why I didn't see that sooner. Was that after I played g4, he went here, I went here. So now I have ideas of my queen and my knight in the corner also when I'm attacking a queen, which is probably good for me, right? Okay, so he goes for this. What do I do about that? I can play here, right? Let me push that. I don't know if this is good or bad. He can take, I can take, he can take. The fuck's going on? What's happening? Why did he do that? I don't know. He can take here. And I can either take a rook or I can take... Well, actually, I want a rook, I think. Yeah, I want a rook. What's happening, man? This is madness. This is pure madness. Madness on the board. This guy's mad. Manza, you're crazy. What are you doing? Have mercy on me. Don't give away all your pieces and checkmate me. That's not what I want. Okay, so plays here to defend and attack this pawn. So some idea like this. Like this, right? And then here maybe. Oh, what? I ran out of time? What? No. How did I run out of time? Oh, fuck's sake. I ran out of time. I was so much better there. Oh, I just ran out of time in my brain. Ah, what was next? That's annoying, man. That's really annoying. We lose on time. I was thinking either step here, allow that, because I was worried about this. But I realised I can probably just take here, and after this, I can take the knight. Ah, fuck. Right, well, I got got. I got got. I was bound to lose at some point. That's really frustrating. I had such a better position as well. But there was just so much going on I had to think about, and I didn't have any time to think about it. Alright. Okay, let's hop into our analysis here, right? Still a fun game, a very wild game out of the Italian Gambit. Wild game. Let's hop into analysis. Let's see what was happening, and we can talk about it. Let's do it. Cool. So if we're talking about quality of play, as you can see today, not the one, right? Not quite as accurate a game, but I guess that makes sense considering that I was in time trouble, right, for more of that game. Had to make a lot of moves quite quickly. It looks like though my spread on mistakes and stuff was pretty even. 79.5% accuracy, 1 great move, 10 best movie, excellent, 5 good, 2 inaccuracy, 2 mistake, 1 blunder. So definitely a lower quality game today. According to the little graph up here, at one point he actually was much better. He let it slip, fell down, very much my advantage for a bit there, and then he got something here which would have almost equalized the game. I still would have been better, but then I was much better again. So let's check out what was going on with the game. Let's do it. So we start off in this Gioco Piano, and my opponent plays the Italian Gambit. I take with the bishop, which is considered fine. He takes with the knight. Better here to take with the knight. I wasn't sure, but yeah, apparently it's better to take with the knight. He pushes that. And that's immediately an inaccuracy, yeah. It really didn't like bringing the queen out here and recommended that we bring the knight out instead. I was a little worried in this line, something like this. I guess you can just take that, right? So instead of that, what was I worried about? Maybe like that. Like this, is that the idea? It's just suggesting to go for material, right? But I thought this might be a bit scary. This is one of those positions that you actually have to study, right? So it's good that we're doing this analysis, because if this comes up on the board again, I will understand more what it is I need to do in the opening to prove an advantage, right? So immediately, the suggestion is knight takes pawn. I thought maybe this could be a move in that position. Yeah, some move like this. King takes. Knight coming here. Oh, but that's, yeah, loss of material. So knight coming here. King goes back here. Is that the idea? No, that's just a blunder. Okay, so you have to go here at that point. Queen coming down, threatening checkmate. Okay, there's a lot going on here. So here, here. I wanted to try this one, this one, this one. Which is not the best. Sorry. Takes, and here is not good for white because I have... Oh wait, no, this is not even the line I was thinking about in my head, sorry. So here, knight takes is the way to go. So why was I worried about this at all? Did I just get in my head about something that's not very scary? I had some idea that he was like, could sack with the bishop and then come back and then have a threat with the queen. But that just doesn't exist because of this pawn, right? Maybe I just got a little dazzled by this opening. So I take with the bishop, that's fine. Take back with the pawn. That's an inaccuracy. I should be moving my knight out there. That's just a mistake. Got you. Because this now allows white a lot of play, right? That's a blunder though. Oh yeah, so it did recommend that move with the knight. Got you. So he had the advantage with that move, but didn't see it. That's best. This is best. That's a mistake. Okay. It's fine. It's good. It's fine. Excellent. Inaccuracy, okay. Here. 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 I'm just checking how I played this ending. And this is a big blunder. Why is this a big blunder? Because it allows the knight to come in here. He had knight here. Interesting. And then he blunders it away by not playing knight here. Why is that? Some combo like this. This is such a weird position, man. This is a weird position. That was best to stop that. And then I thought, this is where I ran out of time. This game, I'm sorry, just to be clear, this game was a mess from start to finish, right? Just very messy. Not a single clue as to what was going on, really, for most of it. I think up to this point on the channel, I've showcased some pretty solid, pretty respectable chess, right? But that game, no idea what was going on. Not a single clue. So in this position, I thought next maybe here, which is excellent. He takes here, and I take here. Yeah. He can't take here because the rook's hanging, so some idea like rook takes here next, maybe. I play rook here. He takes the pawn. I have mate and 2 in this position. Probably something with the queen, right? Here. 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 Oh, it's mate and 6. Okay, I'm losing the thread here. So better was to play. Oh yeah, better was to play here. Okay. And then the king had to go here, and then this would be the checkmate. Okay. So he can't, in this position, take the pawn, and instead should be playing here. In this position, I have checkmate in 17 moves. Yeah, I was gonna. Sorry, guys. I was gonna play this, but I ran out of time. I saw ahead of time that I had a checkmate in 17 on the board, and I just thought it wouldn't be fair to my opponent to, do that at this level of play. But to be fair, after this, I could play this. Oh wait, no, this is a check, so I could play here. Is that the idea? He could do what at that point, like here? Is that the idea? Oh, taking this is the best in this position, and then taking here. Checkmate in 9. Okay. I'm not really sure what I can even do in this for like analysis in this game, because it was so messy. Like so much stuff going on. What do we talk about? I mean, obviously, I think taking with the pawn is a mistake, and I should fully commit to the bit here and take with the knight. I was worried in this position he might have this move, right? But that is a full blunder, because I can take that bishop. He swings the queen down here. I can play, what is it, here to stop that? No, that's bad. I should drop the king back here. And after he takes here, was it this move? I think it was. Yeah, I can take with the knight. I can take with the knight. I can take with the queen. 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 I can take with the qu No. Oh, right. Because after that we have this idea here. Got you. I didn't actually spot in this line that after queen takes pawn, you have a fork on the king and the rook. Right. Got you, got you, got you. So that's why you should fully commit to the bit here in this Italian. So here you go. Here's your lesson of the day. Right, in the Italian Gambit, it's fine to take with the bishop. And after knight takes, it's fine to take back with the knight. Because if he comes here, threatening checkmate, you can play, what is it, queen here? Yep, to stop all that business. And if you take, and he goes for this kind of sacrifice line, you can take here. And after here, you can just drop the king back here. Because if he takes this pawn, you can take here, fork the king and the rook. So that's that, and you just have a big advantage at that point. I didn't spot that idea with the fork, which kind of saves the knight and saves the pawn. Right, so imagine instead we played some line like this, 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 and he didn't take straight away. He instead played, well, actually, that's still just really bad for white, right? Because you still got this threat, so you'd probably have to go back like here. Is that the idea? That's best, yeah. And then white's position just looks kind of rubbish, right? This is coming. You'd have to be aware of that. But you could just play something like this. And after this, something like this. And then your position just looks very clean, right? Very clean, very normal. Okay, so I got caught in some kind of opening shenanigans here, right? Some stuff that I wasn't really ready for. Although I'm still fine in this position. This move's bad. I had a chance to play something better, which is knight here. Get a knight out, develop a knight. I was sort of concerned in this spot about something like this. Like I thought maybe, well, yeah, if we were to play the proper sequence of moves here, but it's saying here is best. So what about here in that spot? Why is this fine? Because you can castle, right? But queen can't take at that point because you can skewer the queen and king together. So you can get out of that pretty easily. So that's not a threat. Apparently best in this position is like here. Or, oh, it's pushing the pawn, okay. So you're supposed to push the pawn here as white. We would play like back here, is that the idea? No, that's a mistake. Here, okay. Now imagine queen here. What do we do about queen here? Like queen here, is that the idea? That's a blunder. You're supposed to take. But then what about this? No? I'm so good. What do you mean? Look, the knight's just hanging, no? Oh no, because you can play here and you pin the queen, right? And then takes, and some line like here probably is the idea. Oh wait, no, because that's not a threat. You see what I mean? This is the sort of position that's very, very messy and there's so much stuff going on. But don't take with this pawn, take with the knight, and your position is just fine, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Probably white would continue with something like here, right? It's very good. We can bring a knight out here. Although it's recommending that just kind of solidifying your pawn structure is fine. Curious about one particular line here after here, 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 and here. The immediate this move is an inaccuracy. Does it allow this? Is that the idea? That's best. Yeah, so actually regardless, I quite like this move order because regardless, after you take with the knight, your position will end up pretty solid after that. So I think going forward, if I come up against this Italian Gambit, that'll probably be my idea and my move order that I go for. So Yeah, all in all, I guess pretty instructive game. Really a messy game, the kind of game that really displays why my rating is what it is. It's the sort of game that anyone who's better would probably look at, calmly approach, take apart piece by piece. But I got lost in the craziness of the position, got very low on time, and then had to make a lot of moves really quickly, and ended up running out of time. Right, so even still, really fun game. Learned a lot. Congratulations to my opponent, Manza, crazy man. Good game. Um, yeah, that'll be all for me as well for the video. Appreciate everyone for checking in. Nice to see you all. And we'll be back with more chess very soon. Cheers. Bye.